And of course, you are welcome back. It's time for the movies. Let's do movie gist. Yeah. And I am very excited because we have two movies we're going to be talking about today on a preview review basis. And how good are you with Disney characters?
Oh,
Titi? Titi's here, of course.
I've always loved Disney movies. I appreciate the fact that they've been doing remakes of all the classic cartoons from back in the day.
Now, that's what we're here to talk about today, those remakes, because we've seen a lot of them. We've seen Mulan, we've seen Lion King,
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin.
Now, the thread that follows through all these live-action remakes is that it's the same story. You're seeing the same thing. You know the story where it's going. For the younger generation, it's new. But for you, you've seen it like 20 or 30 years ago. However, they seem to have gone another direction with their latest action, live action movie, which this time is going to be Cruella. So if you're a fan of 101 Dalmatians, they didn't call it 101 Dalmatians. In fact, it's less about the dogs and more about the the personality itself, Cruella. It's an origin story. We're going to show you the trailer in just a minute, but I just wanted to say this, that I am very fascinated about it. I can't wait to see it because I want to see exactly what the makings of Cruella was, what exactly made her who she is, and why she had that crazy fascination for fashion and, of course, for Dalmatians. It stars Emma Stone and Emma Thompson in it, and these are two great actors that, well, put together in one movie. I can only expect fireworks, but then there's a very dark nature that goes with Cruella this time around. So let's check out the trailer. When we get back, I'm going to give you a little preview of what I suspect this movie is going to be all about, of course, with Titi's help.
Let me give you some advice. You can't care about anyone else. Everyone else is an obstacle. You care what an obstacle wants or feels, you're dead. What was your name?
Cruella.
If you can make us, we'll never get started.
I want to make trouble.
Oh, powerful.
Tell what you think. What are you expecting to see here?
So there's been this new trend of finding out the backstory of the bad guy. It happened with the Joker. And in such a way that you begin to have empathy for that bad guy character. And it was never like that. The bad guy was supposed to be hated.
The bad guy.
But now the bad guys are trying, they're almost being loved more than the good guys. So I appreciate the fact that there are two powerful women
starring in
lead roles here. And the fashion already, gosh, I would love to get some ideas from there. But then again, I think when the cartoon came out, there was this issue on, animal cruelty, and all that. I don't know if they hinted on that in this
I think that is the reason why it's less on the dogs. In fact, it's nothing about the Dalmatians at all. It's more about the personalities here. Cruella, whose original name is actually Estella, and her downward spiral into becoming an evil person. The fact is that you actually just hit on something very interesting. I'm surprised that you actually hit on it.
Okay.
To me, this movie is a cross between The Devil Wears Prada and guess what other movie? You actually talked about it.
The Joker?
The Joker.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. If you put the Joker in her place, you'd actually find out that it's somewhat like the same story. It has the mental angle to it all to see what exactly formed her. She was an orphan. She ran away from the orphanage at 12. She has a fascination for fashion. She wasn't getting her chance. She had to grab that chance and, she became an evil person. So for me, that is the basis of the story, and that's what I'm looking forward to see.
I appreciate how Disney have always created stories that impact a child's growth, development, how they think. There are so many things about movies like Cinderella that made me think a little more of the position I held in my own home, for instance. And, it will help this generation, see differently, think differently about the bad guy.
Well, I can't wait to see it. It comes out in May. So you guys just hang in there. We'll let you know exactly which day in May and where to find it. But I think perhaps it's going to be on streaming services. But let's do our review now. I am very tentative going into this one, but everybody, well, most of you must have seen Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm going to, first of all, let you guys see the trailer, remind you before we go in hard. Well, I'm going to go in hard on it. I'm sorry, I just have to. Let's do the trailer for Godzilla versus King Kong, and then we'll be back to
Back, so there must be something that is selling in this particular storyline.
The last time that these two monsters actually went to fisticuffs together was in 1942, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It was 1962. That way back. Now, if you are the classic comic person, this movie does not disappoint. It actually delivers on everything kaiju. It's all about monsters. It's all about destruction. Let's just destroy Japan. We don't have to evacuate the place.
Exactly.
So if you are a deep and introspective person, however, which I am, I'm afraid that you're going to perhaps not like this movie too much. It doesn't do anything to establish the characters that are playing around the monsters. It does establish, well, do you need to establish Godzilla? It's Godzilla! Do you need to establish King Kong? It's King Kong. So right off the bat, they get to fisticuffs. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, you expect that rah, fire breath, everything. But there's no deep, introspective dialogue that goes with it. I was also, I'm sorry I'm bashing it for everybody who's a fan, I was also expecting much more from Alexander Skarsgård's character. I'm being told to stop doing it. But I was expecting so much from Skarsgård's character, but I didn't get anything.
Okay, so when you have high expectations for a movie like that, you know.
Listen, we're going to go on a break, and I'm going to ask you guys a question, and you can answer on social media. Let's do this break. When we get back, and I'll give you my query. Yes, and I can't wait to come under flak by all you Godzilla fans. I am so sorry, but I am ready for it. If it's about Godzilla movies, well, bring it on. But tell you what we're going to do, Titi. How about you let us know exactly how you feel about these movies that we're talking about by getting on social media? Can they do that?
Yeah, of course.
Versus Kong, if you have seen it, or what you're expecting if you haven't seen it. And if there's any other movie you'd like us to talk about here on Coffee Gist, you might as well go ahead and let us know. I will have a no-holds-barred opinion on the movie reviews that I give, because that is who I am. I will not give spoilers. If I have given spoilers about this one, I apologize.
Well, you just told them it's not deep.
I, however, told you how I feel about it. You know, all of a sudden, Godzilla became a bit intelligent. I'm like, both of them were intelligent.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my
goodness. But the thing is, beasts that have survived centuries, well, I can say like at least a century, have to have experiential knowledge.
No.
They have to have learned about the environments that have survived that long.
Godzilla is brutal, primordial strength. Yes, there is a trial at trying to give him a sense of intelligence. Yeah. King Kong, however, was never intelligent. No, Olamide, really? I hear you in my ear. King Kong was never intelligent.
King Kong is a mammal, but I don't think Godzilla is a mammal.
Godzilla is just a lizard.
No, he's a lizard. And I remember there was a particular one where there was this issue of him having laid eggs under a city.
That's the 1996 depiction of Godzilla.
Yeah, and that was
priceless.
So the whole risk, that whole suspense of, oh my gosh, mini Godzilla's going to, start roaming the earth. That, I get it.
I will tell you something about that 1996 depiction of Godzilla. It was actually supposed to have a second part, but it was killed because people who are, into the culture of the whole destructive, brutal Godzilla being 80 feet tall and everything, were like, no, we don't like this one because it's too probable. It made too much. Say that. Now, like I was talking about Skarsgård's character, there was no development, there was no establishment, there was nothing. He was just scientist. The only other person who could have helped the situation was Brian Thierry Henry, who served as a comic relief character, who became, the signature of the show to me. But then again, hey, like I said, get on social media and please leave your comments. If you want to bash me for it, feel free. I've got tough skin. Be gentle. However, let's see who else has got tough skin in our kitchen. Everybody knows her, of course. Fire breather herself. Let's see what she's cooking with her breath, with our chef. MM, what's going on? You're just yellow, but they don't know you.